So, welcome everybody to Lindell TV. And we have one of our greatest supporters and sponsors, Carlos Cortez. He is the CEO, owner of Cortez Wealth Management. You guys need to go there now. Don't even wait. Don't even wait to hear about it. Go to AmericaFirstRetirementPlan.com or call 833-813-3446. We're going to leave it up while we talk to Carlos here. And Carlos, I can't thank you enough for helping support our voice here at Lindell TV. And I wanted to ask you a few questions that the people out there have asked since our last time we were together. Some questions came in, and the first one is your website emphasizes retirement built in America and for America. In practice, what does that mean, and how do you help your clients invest in the things they believe in?
Thanks for having me, Mike. Yeah, it's really that simple. I mean, in business school, we all were taught to do business with people you like and trust. I don't think
Hmm.
maybe we've gotten away from that with social media. I don't know, but it still is a recipe today. And so before COVID actually came down, um,
Hmm.
I I just went out and publicly and boldly said, you know what? I believe in Christ. I believe in America. My father's a pastor and a drill sergeant. Um, and I'm okay in my skin. I'm
Right,
okay with my message. But let's take it a step further and let's see how we can invest in the way that we believe. And
right.
thus we have value-based investing. And more importantly, like I don't want to go to Mexico or Canada. Like America is all we have. There's
Right.
no plan B, there's no plan C. Like you hear
That's
people,
right.
"Oh, Trump got in, I'm moving to Canada." Well, go to
Right.
Canada and see how you like it.
Uh,
You know?
Good for you,
So,
Special K. Goodbye. Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
Peace.
Uh,
Deuces. So, with when it comes to your retirement, like we are funding if you look at all the woke companies, we are funding the LGBT movement. We are funding the transgender movement.
right,
We're funding all these things that are a demise to us, and this has have been proven. And not only that, but we're funding the legislation. Like how is BLM? How is LGBT getting the money to pass these laws that are victim mentality? And so
right,
we're funding this. And if you go deeper, you'll see that the big 401k providers, possibly your 401k provider, for anyone listening, they're only allowing certain mutual funds, certain investments in a employer sponsored program that funds things that do not go against that goes against America and goes against your values. So what we
wow.
do here is I had to honestly, Mike, when I was a stockbroker, I had this license and I had to literally do everything they told me to do. I built the business, I built the client, I built everything, and I still had to do everything they told me to do. And
Right,
I'm like, this is not the American dream. Like as an
right,
entrepreneur, I want to do what's right for my clients. That's my service. That's my open architecture. That's my competitive advantage to the Merrill Lynch, Morgan Stanley, Edward Jones of the world. So
right.
what I said I was going to invent the America First retirement plan. I did it, and we had a great logo. We had a great message, and my little firm has brought in $250 million inside of 14 months because
Right. Oh,
people finally
and
finally can
yeah,
talk to an advisor about what they believe in.
right. No, and that's real important. Everybody is, you know, I had even in stocks that I was buying. I For myself, my own moral compass, I wouldn't buy stocks even though I knew they were going to go up because what they stood for, what was behind the company that was behind them. And for you to basically what you've done then, people that have, no matter where you have your money, everybody, or they you'll be able to say, hey, you've already vetted the good places that have our values, correct? You've already done that work. For I would want to know that myself. If I have money that's supporting, and I could name a lot of places right now that I don't want to support. And just because you're maybe making money over here, you're giving them an alternative. Here, this would support this, and here, instead of having it here, you could have it here, and making the same thing, but you're supporting something that helped is it's good and evil as far as I'm concerned, right?
Yes, I mean, as you know, Wall Street is one of the most corrupt streets in the world. So,
Right,
um,
right,
and honestly, they don't care about your religious or spiritual beliefs. They just care about ups,
right,
downs, and sideways and manipulations. And so,
right,
unfortunately, the average American patriot doesn't know what they're actually funding. Um,
right,
you know, if your advisor doesn't ask this one question, "Hey, Mister or Miss Client, what are some sectors that you do not agree in?" Like, if he or she never asked you, then chances are you're funding everything you probably are against. There's some people that are anti-vax. There's some people that are anti-China. Some people that are anti. I mean, you can. There's
the
things
list
like
goes on
even
and on.
in yeah, yeah. And there's some things that technology that people don't agree with. When you own
Right,
the main thing is that when you own a stock, you actually inherit the mission statement. So,
right, right,
if you own Playboy and or tobacco-based products or gaming or any pornographic based companies, you
right,
actually own that company. So
right.
God will never ask you how much money you've made. He will only question the character it took to make that money.
Right. Well, it kind of reminds me of what you have here, and I'm you guys. This is you need to go there right now. America First AmericaFirstRetirementPlan.com or call 833-813-3446. If all your financial planning and stuff, you need to get there. With you have something I've never even heard of. Here you're basing all everything is also. I can ask you another question. What is this? Who's behind this? Who's behind this? If I put my funds here, if I do this here, who's behind it. I compare it to when I over the last since 2016, I've had different candidates in our elections come up to me, Mike, will you endorse me? Will you endorse me? And I have to vet them and do everything before I've gave very few endorsements. Everybody, to be honest with you, because there's got to be many, many things that they have to meet that criteria. But one, I'll never forget this lady in New York, and she was running for office, and she said, "Mike, I need your endorsement. Will you endorse me?" And I said, "No, you're pro-choice." And I said, and she goes, "No, no, no, I'm right in the middle." I said, "What do you half kill a baby?" And I said, "Here would be the headlines. Here would be the headlines. Mike Lindell goes against his Christian values to back a Republican." My credibility would have been shot a long time ago. I can't help my past and everything. I was an ex crack addict and all this stuff, but I can help who I am now. And if people dig in, and there's been many things, I will tell you this, everybody, right here at Lindell TV, we were asked one time to go with a company that to do it instead of we've done we're publicly traded now at FSBN, but we were asked to merge with this other company, and I checked into their past, and they were involved with marijuana back in the day with cannabis, and I'm going. I don't care what people think or don't think of that. It didn't match where I'm at, so I didn't do it. And maybe it would have been a good opportunity or not. It didn't matter that one little check. So this is so important, everybody, in your investments in your portfolio to be able to know what you're not just how much if you're like me and it's. I want to know if obviously, Carlos, I'm sure you do great thing. Here's their footprint, and you're giving them options, but you're also letting them know what that money is doing. Is that boy, I'm making money here, but actually it's destroying me over here because it's destroying our country. That's the bottom line, everybody. You got all this stuff that we're out there going, you might make it in the short haul, but I'll tell you what, we got our great real president back in office. We can't let these next 4 years be in vain. We got to do everything we can, and that's knowing where we're putting our resources and money for whether it's for retirement or anything, what we're doing with our investments, and that's where you need to get to right now. AmericaFirstRetirementPlan.com. Call 833-813-3446. When they do call, Carlos, what are they gonna get? Are they gonna get one of your team and they what's their steps or what they they get to know your team. I know one of the things I like about you guys, you treat every person or customer like it's your only customer, and that is so valuable. When I vetted you to be one of our great sponsors here at Lindell TV, you checked all the boxes. I just want to say I can't thank you enough. You care about what we're doing here at our platform and our voice, and just everything. So, what do they when they get there? Take us through the process? What you do with your client? How long does it take?
Yeah, yeah. Well, a lot of times, Mike, appreciate those awesome words. A lot of times when they call our office, they have a little bit of fear, uncertainty, and doubt. They're fearful because obviously the stock market's going down, things are going down, um, and they've had a bad experience with just the 08s and the 01s of the world, and now they're retired and they can't mess it up. There's no time, so there's a lot of fear. They're uncertain because there's no plan. They can't talk to their advisor about Trump. They can't talk to the advisor about a crashing dollar. They can't talk to their advisor about the vaccine. They cannot talk about their advisor on their spiritual beliefs. If you're not aligned with your advisor spiritually, medically, socially, economically, then what in the world is he or she doing managing your retirement on where you're going? So you have
Very
to be on
good
the same
point.
page.
Yeah,
You
very
have to
good
be on the
point.
same
That's
page.
yeah, and you guys, um, this with the Cortez Wealth Management, you guys, you match perfectly to our audience. I'll tell you that. You guys,
Amen.
I can't tell you enough how important this just watching this could be. One thing can change the course you're on forever, and I believe in divine appointments. If you're watching this show right now, you need to check this out. I put all my credibility onto Carlos and his the American First Retirement Plan.com. I don't do that. I do that to things that I'm all in 100%. And then I never back away, not even 1%. I think you all know me out there. When I'm all in, it's 100%. And I'm telling you, I would trust everything I have with, uh, with you, Carlos, and my family's everything. And that's what I'm telling everybody. I mean, I know it's, um, you're the, everything that I have, I guess, I'm going to be using you. I know I've asked you, I've told you a couple of things we're going through that, mine's kind of on a bigger scale where I'm right now. I'm at you guys. I'm actually fighting the IRS for something that's going to affect the whole country. I went to the Department of Treasury and stuff. So, it's going to be great that I'm going to be able to ask and Carlos and I were just talking about it, but he's not a tax advisor, but this affects everybody and it affects your everybody's income, everybody's portfolios could be affected, or a good portion of this country. So, things that come up, these anomalies and and things that come up, we're in a time that's unprecedented in history, and people say they say all the time. One of the things I want everybody to realize: this isn't like here I'm going to put my money here when it's the same here as here, whatever, or I should do this, to be secure. Donald Trump's in office now, so everything will be okay, and we don't need to plan for a complete collapse. That's not true. And even if it was, even if you didn't have anything out there, let's say it was perfect times. Let's go back. I want to rewind the clock, everybody, to December of 2019. But a roaring economy. Everything was beautiful. Okay. It was the highest consumer confidence in history. This is before they gave us the China virus and the stolen election. At that time, I'm telling you right now, Carlos, if I'd have met you then, I would be telling everybody the same thing, because I'd be saying, hey, I know times are great, but you know what? Why don't you take your portfolio and what you're doing and your financial advisor and switch over to Cortez Wealth Management, because switch over to you because you vetted the places you're putting your money and resources that are going to help us in the future. These companies that he's already done the work for you, everybody. So this isn't a hey switch because out of fear. This is switch if you're not fearful or you are fearful of what's coming in the future. You need to switch because of who you're supporting, wherever you're putting your resources, at least to have that knowledge. You need to have
Yes.
that knowledge, everybody. We're in a battle of good and evil of biblical proportions right now. And
Amen.
this isn't just because our Donald Trump's in office right now. This has just begun. Evil doesn't rest. Okay, they're coming up. They're coming up with a new plan, and we cannot back the evil out there with our resources, even though we might be making money in the short term off those resources, but we're destroying our country. We have to save our country, and we're all part of this. So, Carlos, I can't thank you enough, and we'll get you back on as very soon. And if you love Carlos' knowledge, remember to tune in for his show on Lindell TV, and we'll see you all next time. Thanks, Carlos.
Thanks, Mike.
God bless you.
What we as Muslims want to implement here in the United States, we believe the Constitution should be replaced by the Quran.
First move that I will do, I will abolish the Constitution and I will establish the only logical and rational Constitution, which is the Quran and the Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
When it comes to spreading Islam on a state level, on a societal level, that method prescribed is jihad. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has prescribed that the ones who don't accept the ruling of Islam, they must be fought. This is simply the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Here's where we're at. The program was obliterated at those three sites, but they still have ambitions. I don't know where the 900 pounds of highly enriched uranium exists, but it wasn't part of the target set.
Are you concerned that in light of that several years, when the administration is saying this is obliterated, it suggests that they're not able to build a weapon. You're saying in several years, perhaps they'll be able to.
That's what I'm saying. They're obliterated today, but you can reconstitute.
Subject of peace deals. How close are you and your administration to a deal in terms of Gaza, of a ceasefire right now?
Often asked, and I think it's close. I just spoke with some of the people involved. It's a terrible situation that's going Gaza. He's asking about, and we think within the next week we're going to get a ceasefire. And we're supplying, as you know, a lot of money and a lot of food to that area because we have to. I mean, you have to. We're in theory not involved in it, but we're involved because people are dying. And I look at those crowds of people that have no food, no anything, and you know we're the ones that are getting it there. Some of it's being taken by some bad people, you know, once you give it and you give it out, and they're supposed to be taking care of the people, and they end up stealing the food and selling it. But we have a pretty good system now. But so we're helping with that. You see the lines of people that just get one meal essentially, but. It's too bad other countries aren't helping out. Nobody's helping out. We're doing that because I think we have to on a humanitarian basis. Like this, we didn't have to get involved in Africa, but we did because we thought it was. I mean, I've been reading, like JD said, he's, you know, from much of his life, he's been just seeing this about this brutal war. And it actually got a lot of publicity because of the level of brutality, right? It was, nobody's ever seen anything like it. And to be involved in that, I mean, I consider this the most important of my conferences today. We just had a great Supreme Court victory today, and everybody would say that was big, but
those are top of mind for everybody, you know, working on digital assets in the White House. You know, there will be the forthcoming report on the interagency activities. We've already taken some steps with the SPR. You know, how do we follow that up with the, you know, accumulation plan? So there's no shortage of opportunities and things to do. So after we leave here, I'll get right back to it.
Hey guys, Carlos Cortez here with another episode of Scriptures in Wall Street. I'm really excited that you are tuning in today. This is the weekend show for pretty much the last week of June. And I just want to do a market recap. I want to talk about some confusing things and how it relates to you and your retirement and what to be looking out for come July as we approach our second half of the year. What are some things that you should be asking your current advisor, what you should be doing with your current investments? Again, everything on this podcast is meant for information and education purposes only. I'm not giving investment advice, although I'm a licensed financial advisor. Everything on this podcast is not meant for investment advice. Now, with that being said, we've gotten a lot of calls, with about Social Security. We've gotten calls just on capital gains, what's that looks like. And honestly, it's a one-to-one conversation. But the main thing you need to know about Social Security is that the IRAs that you have, all that counts towards ordinary income. So when you pull money out, and you're on Social Security, that income is considered ordinary income as if you were working a job. So we get the question a lot for a lot of our clients that don't know when to take Social Security. And if you need a Social Security report, I've already done all the math for you. If you're a listener, I usually charge $500 for this report, but all you got to do is email me, say, hey, I would like a Social Security report. You would have to give me your Social Security statement. You can find that on ssa.gov if you haven't, but definitely contact my office, 813-448-3446, and I will actually comp that for you. All you got to do is give us a call, 813-448-3446. And also you can just email me at info@cortezwm.com. Let me know, hey, Carlos, I would like a Social Security report. Lets me know when and how to take Social Security, where it's not filing for my detriment. Unfortunately, a lot of people, I think about over 90% of people, are filing for their detriment, meaning they took it too early and they have to live off the IRA money that they built, the 401k money that they built, and they're still working. And what happens if you make over, let's just say 24,000, I forgot what it is in 2025, but they do this earnings test. The earnings test basically gives you a stop sign and a speed bump on how much you can make. And if you go over that amount, they will charge you 50%. So it doesn't matter when you take Social Security, if it's before your full retirement age, you definitely want to make sure that you do an internet search when your FRA is your full retirement age. And secondly, you want to make sure that you understand what the earnings test limit is for that year. So 2026, 2025, if you're planning on taking Social Security, maybe you are 62, maybe you want to wait till FRA, full retirement age, for 66 and 6 months, or many of you will be 67. Maybe you're in the 40s like me, and you're probably not going to have Social Security, and you want to put a lot of money away in green money to just supplement what you would have received on Social Security and some. So there's also that option. If you're in your 40s, now's the time to put money away. As we dive into the charts, as we dive in onto like all these amazing things that we could do with your money if you had time. Look, if you don't have the money, that's one thing. You just need the time. This is why younger investors that are planning for retirement, they do very well, because they may not have the money, but they have the time. They have literally 20 plus years to compound. And I'm telling you, $10,000 30 years from now could be worth hundreds, if not over $1 million, if you play your cards right, if you have green money working for you, if you know how to trade the markets, or if you're trying to do a leverage ETF and dollar cost average into it. Again, not investment advice. Everybody's different. You just got to give us a call so we can help you build your retirement. And if you are retired, keep it secured. Literally keep it secured. You should not be in a stock market with all this volatility. And I know it's tempting because we see the Qs going up. We see TQQ going up. We see Dell going up. We see a lot of things going up. But I'm here to tell you that once that negative quarter of GDP comes out, everything's going to be coming crashing down. And guess what? It doesn't come with a bad GDP report. Next thing you know, you'll see a bank crisis. You'll see liquidity crisis. You'll see other byproducts of, basically the labor market, or negative GDP, or even on top of that, deflation. Trump has a huge hard-on lowering our inflation to the point where he wants to get rid of Jerome Powell, which I don't disagree with. But basically, that is going to cause another havoc. And so we have to just be diligent, guys. We have to be completely diligent, because it's dangerous out there, man. Like if you're just relying on the stock market and thinking that, hey, I'm going to make 15, 20% a year, you got something coming for you. You really do. If you are confused about what's going on, give us a call. Let us give you some direction that's outside of the big box. You know, the Merrill Lynch, the Morgan Stanley's, Edward Jones, even your 401k at Empower, Pacific Life, John Hancock, Fidelity. All they're going to do is just put your money in mutual funds, and the mutual funds are subject to all the risk of the market, not just market risk, but inflation risk, but social media risk, political risk, mainstream media risk. Like it is crazy the type of risk that is out there outside of the market. Like social media wasn't even a thing 15 years ago, let alone the politics. Don't buy an annuity unless you know how to double your money within 4 to 6 years. I'm talking about no fees, principal protection. The market goes down, you lose nothing. You get an annual statement because your money's not invested in the stock market. It's only credited by the index. And what is the number one index that I can find? That's going to be the NASDAQ. That's going to be AI. That's going to be technology. That's going to be healthcare technology. What are you doing not investing in that? You want to be able to have access to a principal protected account with no fees that has complete growth. If we look at the actual index, if you look at the NASDAQ, in 08, NASDAQ was down 41%. We made 53% the following year, a 19%. A 2%, a 16%. In 01 and the dot-com bombs, we made 49, a 10, a 1. And so right now the NASDAQ is down. It's a great time to get in. When Trump got in 2016 to 2020, the NASDAQ yielded over 100%. You can now effectively get into the NASDAQ without risking your principal, have principal protection, have no annual fees, and get your gains locked in. This is not found in your mainstream broker. This is not found on Wall Street. As a former stockbroker, I wish I had access to this to my clients. Give us a call. We want to help you, and we can work with all 50 states. God bless. All right, guys. Hey, so I wanted to get back to it, and I just wanted to talk about Dell. I know I really don't talk about stocks here on Scriptures and Wall Street. And again, it's not investment advice. I just want to let you know my opinion and what I've done personally. Again, this is for information, education purposes only. So with this particular equity, I bought the call option at 119. So for those of you that are following me here, we bought it at 119. I discussed this, that I was doing this around 113, I believe. And it's already at 126. So if you took that trade, good on you. Again, not investment advice, information, education purposes only. I got nothing but green lights here, man. Like this thing could really even take off even more, possibly to this high here at 145. I don't know. I'm not greedy. I like locking in profits here, let the runners run. Maybe I take 5 contracts off or a contract or 2 off. You know, lock in some profits and then just let it run. So that way you're in a risk-free trade. You're not hurting yourself. Now, this is more of a swing trade for those of you that are looking at this. If you took it a few weeks ago when I mentioned it, you're probably up 80%. I think I'm up 81% just on this trade. So you always want to use just a little bit of money. I'm talking about 3, 4, no more than 5% on these option trades because they're very powerful, but you could lose everything as well. So do not invest in anything that you cannot afford to risk. And gosh darn it, if you're crying about it, you got way too much money into it. Way too much red money. But yeah, this is a cool little trade. I think I put like, I don't know, $2,500 in call options, and now it's worth like almost $5,000. So pretty awesome, man. Like I love these trades and I'm full of them. I mean, I'll be doing this all year long. All you got to do is like and subscribe, Scriptures and Wall Street. And if you want something like this working for you, give us a call, 813-448-3446, or visit us at CortezWM.com. You can also download our free guide at AmericaFirstRetirementPlan.com. And I'm here to tell you, like a lot of advisors, they don't trade. They don't know how to trade. They don't know a thing about candle charts, indicators, MACD analysis, traffic lights, Bollinger Bands, VWAPs. They don't know this stuff. They're like, oh, that's for the traders and the money managers. But yet they're managing your money. And so that's my question to you is, does your advisor, he or she, know exactly how the markets work, the market synergies, the market structure, the patterns, or are they just going off of emotions and they're just really good at triggering your emotions? You need both, right? You need to understand, hey, we understand that it's okay to be emotional, but I don't want to be emotional because I know it affects my trading. And the trading does have a huge emotion. It's 50% emotional, 40% risk management, and 10% strategy. So you have to just understand that. You really just have to understand that and grasp it. And so what I do is I don't particularly trade client accounts like this, but what I can give you advice on is I could basically give you advice on how to trade, but I just don't do it. I just don't do it for everybody, right? So it would be crazy. However, our money managers do this style of trading. And more importantly, my concern is you shouldn't even be messing with these type of trades if you don't have your safe money in place. Like you really need to have the ability to just make money off of the indices, whether it's the S&P 500 or the NASDAQ. So right now, I'm looking at the NASDAQ, one of my favorite indices. Like right now, this is a great buy. So we got a buy signal. Let's see here. On the 24th on a Qs. So we could buy a call option on TQQQs. For those of you that want to make some money, again, information, education purposes only, probably just as good as the Dell trade. Tuesday, we got a buy signal. If you saw my podcast on Tuesday, you noticed that I was talking about this. We got bullish signs. Everything looks great. Green traffic lights. This thing looked like it's about to take off. So we could buy the call option here. Let me see. Let me just go over to our calculator. So how many times have we gotten lost in the minutia of the everyday life? We've gotten fat, we've gotten lazy, we've gotten complacent, not just in our faith, but also our fitness, maybe our finances, maybe our marriage, maybe our family. But we've gotten complacent. And we constantly need to continue to grow. And one of the things I was weak at was in my fitness. As a former athlete, I thought I had it all. My ego got in the way. I'm like, I'll do it later. I'll do it later. Up until now, I have been able to focus on my fitness. For those of you who've been following me for 3 or 4 years, you understand that I've gained a lot of weight. I've used the excuse of having 4 kids, a marriage, a business, helping out at church, all these excuses. And I keep putting myself in the back burner. This is deadly. And what I love about this company, what I love about taking ownership is that GetMeLeanUSA.com has the ability to introduce natural groundbreaking peptides. But more importantly, let's get your fitness back in check. God bless you. Carlos Cortez here, signing out. So check it out, guys. Like, I really like this. I'm going to do some work here. So this is on TQQQ. Many of you are like, hey, so what option should I buy here? So the options are kind of expensive right now. And the volatility index is coming down. Market's going up. Remember, we spoke about how the VIX goes down when the market goes up. Well, market's going up. Historic value is at 69.87. Intrinsic value 22.47. Looks good. ADX is over 19. We like that. Average trading range 2.7. So if we're looking at some options here on TQQQ, we can go at 75, right? Right now it's at 75. I really like the ATR, $2.75. We probably can get a good strike price around 80. We'll check the option chains, but I like 83 if we can get cheap price on 83, anywhere under 85 with a little bit of time. We only need a few weeks. So let's look at what they're costing right now. Yeah, let's see what the option markets are going for right now on TQQs. Right now, current price 80.36. And now we're looking at these are July. I'm sorry, these are July 11s. Yeah, they're going to be expensive, guys. Holy smokes, are expensive. So out of the money, starting at 81, it's $3.20 a contract. Yeah, we may just want to hold off. Let's look at the July 18th. They're going to be more. Yeah, they're starting at $4. Holy smokes. July 11th. Yep, kind of late to the party here. Had I bought them before TQQs went up, it would have been a lot cheaper. But if you wanted to take the risk and say, July 3rd, then you can get them. You can get the 82s at 276 at 221 a contract. So 276. It's crazy because the intrinsic value is really high. So we know a strong signal just by looking at these options that even a late expiring on July 3rd, we know that these are very expensive. So $82, we got $1.21. I'm sorry, I was looking at the puts there. Sorry, nope, we don't want the puts. We want the calls. So $81 at $1.66. So that means 100 shares is basically $160 per contract. And this is going to expire July 3rd. I'm not recommending this, but if you wanted a good deal, you could look at July 3rd. By the time you watch this, it'll be too late. So let's look at July 11th. And we're looking at 82s, 225s. All right, I like those. 225s. Let's just say we did something small, like 5 contracts, $1,000, right? Maybe we have some ambitious people and we want to do 10. So $2,200 goes in. Again, you do not invest money that you cannot afford to lose. If you got too much money in it, you're becoming emotional. And we like the July 11th, 82 calls. Stock. All right. So let's just say the stock prices go to 88. Current price to 88. Let's just say that. So we have a $2,250 investment, $2,250. And let's just say it goes to 88. We just made $4,800. Not a bad deal. Not a bad deal on a little bump, right? Now, worst case scenario, we lose the 2250. You'll see it go down the other way. You won't just lose it immediately, but you'll see it go down. But yeah, these are call options. So the nice thing about it is you can only lose whatever you put into it. However, the upside is pretty fantastic. Even if it hits 8,500, you're walking away with $2,500 profit. I mean, $85, you're walking away with 25. So it's a good intraday trade as well as a swing trade. If you just wanted to wait till basically expiration date. So at $88, we're looking at $37.50. I mean, it really, really depends on how much you put in. You can use this calculator anytime you want. It's a regular options calculator. I didn't do anything fancy, but buying a 80, what was it? What was strike on this one? 82. If you can get an 82 call, it should be a profitable trade for you, as the TQQs do very well. Again, not investment advice. This is something that requires risk, and invest in your own risk, obviously. But I like talking about things like this where you have the ability to take advantage of the current markets. And that's what the value I bring to this show is. If you're listening to us, we want you to make some money. We want you to understand what's going on before it even happens. So here we are. We go to Yahoo Finance. Just last week, they said, oh my God, the recession fears. Oh my God, crude oil is going to skyrocket. What happened to crude oil? What happened to crude oil? Should I bring the charts? You guys remember all of that havoc about crude oil. Oh my God, we're at war. Iran is cutting off the oil supply. We get 14% of our oil from Iran. I mean, all this stuff. and crude oil is going down. Like, it is nasty going down. Actually, let me pull up the chart real quick. I had a squirrel moment. But look, if you wanted to buy TQQs, this is the NASDAQ. It's ×2, so it's going to be volatile. It should go, I would say, 85. But if you can get a $82 strike price for cheap, now between July 11th, you're going to risk whatever you put in. But I feel it's going to surpass the 85. I really feel it's going to surpass 80, obviously 82, but 85. If it goes 85, it'll be worth the risk, because then you'll be at a 50% gain, but only put money that you can afford to lose, because I could be wrong. It could go down. I trust my charts. I trust my experience. And, you know, this is just for information, education purposes only. Do not take this as a recommendation, but I really like the upswings on the NASDAQ right now. Holy smokes, guys. Look at crude oil. I mean, it was just, when was it? When was it that this whole war took off, right? Just like last week, right? And everybody said, "Oh my gosh, crude oil is going to skyrocket. Iran is such a huge player in oil and blah blah blah." And oh my gosh, fill up your tanks. We're going to have to pay for everything. This thing has been melting down. Like, this is a great trade to sell short. Like, this has a lot of potential to possibly even get in the 50s by next week. Like, seriously, we were at 65. We were at, geez. Let me get here. Yeah, I mean, this thing was at 66, and now it's all the way down to 65.39. Let me get on a 1 hour chart on this. Be a lot easier to see. Even a 4 hour. Let me zoom out. Dang. So yeah, this is my day trading chart on crude oil, on futures. But I mean, the overall trend is just down. And you saw the media saying that oil is going to spike up. Well, it's not. Like, this is actually a really good trade if you wanted to short it just now. Actually, I might just buy it right now in front of you. It's pretty dead right now because it's midday. But yeah, this thing is going down, boy. Crude oil. Can you believe it? You saw the media saying that crude oil is going to spike up. A bunch of lies. All they're doing is selling you chaos so that you can be informed investor and do the bro investing model. Bro, I saw that oil is going to crash, or I saw the oil is going to go up and it is actually going down. It's like crashing as we speak. I'm thinking this sucker is going to hit the 50s by the end of next week, within 2 weeks, in the 50 range. This is massive. Actually, let's get some more accuracy. Let me pull this up on my other indicator. This is my day trade indicator. Let's see here. Boom. Look at this sell-off, bro. Woo. Yeah. So my software is like, hey, you got to buy this because it could come back up. It's already reached a new low. Dang, this has taken a huge, huge hit. We were at 78 and now it's at 67. I'm sorry, 65. I think it could come down just a little more, like kiss the 50s and then pop back up. My indicator is saying that it's going to come up before that. I trust my long-term indicator over my day trading indicator. So yeah, we got some crazy head fakes, guys. This is how Wall Street works. You think it's going to go down, up, and it actually comes crashing down, and then you get suckered into selling it, shorting it, and then boom, you're like buying it. Now it's going to come back up. This is pure manipulation, even for me. Like, it's like I go to my day trading ones, per the minute, it's going to look good. So if I go back to my day trade ones, which is a totally different time frame, it's a totally different structure. So yeah, here you go, guys. Like, this is just a really good trade. I actually made the trade on a paper account, and for some reason I had some technical difficulties. It didn't show, but I entered it in at 65.35. We are right now at 64.91. Very easy $1,500 profit. Yeah, I mean, crude oil is coming down. It is actually probably going to pop back up here. This is part of a normal retracement. But yeah, if you look at the price action, see how it comes back, does this wave. The overall trend is down, but it will come back to its mean and drop down. It's going to come back to its mean. It should have another retracement and come dropping down, because we just look at the oscillator, the momentum, like everything, like the structure, everything just shows that it's negative. I don't really need to know the long-term aspect of it, because I'm only going to be in it for maybe 10 to 30 minutes, somewhere around there. But I got to take profit on 64.91. Again, this is a paper trade. This is just something to show and tell, not real money, but you could take the count, though. You could do this on any count. But yeah, it just goes to show you that it's all manipulated. Really is all manipulated. I just can't believe it. Like, I mean, I can't believe it, but it's interesting when you see it and then you actually can quantify it. That's all I'm getting at. So yeah, we talked about the QQQs, the TQQ. Let's see how that is doing on Thursday. You're probably going to be watching this on Saturday. All good. And yeah, this thing is just taking off, man. Look at this sucker. It's long-term play. All green. Everything looks great on this one. Go to my index dominator, my other template. Yep, it's still looking good, guys. So yeah, I like TQQQ going into next week. Like I said, I know we're going to blow past 82. If we can get an 85, that 82 strike price on that call option should be pretty profitable for you. I really like that one. Also, another one, if you don't like that one, also like SPXL right here. And this one is this one actually feels more stronger about. This one's a little slower moving than the Nasdaq. This is three times the S&P 500. Also a great trade here set up. We got a number of buy signals. I got alerted on SPXL, which is 3 times the S&P 500 on June 24th. Same time I got alerted on TQQs. So this one has a higher ATR of close to $5. So basically, at trading at 159, we can pretty much bet that this will be in the money at 165 plus. So if we went to our call options on this puppy, using the same option calculator, and what was it? We're at 168 right now. Okay, so let's see what options are on this bad boy. So yeah, I mean, we could buy the call. Oh, these are July 3rd or June 27th. So that's expiring tomorrow. We don't want that. But even at, geez, they're so expensive now. But let's go to the 11th. Yeah, holy smokes, these things are expensive. Let's look at July 3rd. Maybe 171. Man, that's pricey. Whew. That's literally like, is that Tuesday? Oh, no, it's next Thursday. Yeah, so pretty risky trade here as well. Well, maybe we just did 5. How much would that be? $1,100. All right, let's just say you wanted to spend $2,000, $2,200. And we bought July 3rd calls at 171. Again, not a big trade, but we could make 29.10 if it goes to 174. A lot higher if it blows through that current price right now. And right now we are at 168. So if you wanted to take that risk, it's completely up to you. You would lose pretty much You'd lose some money if it doesn't expire in the money at 171. So right now it's at 168. You got to make sure it goes to 171, which is totally reasonable. You're paying a premium, but you're getting a discount because it's expiring next Thursday at July 3rd. So up to you. Just a trade you can make a quick buck within a week. I love these things. I think they're great, but they're high risk trades, and I would never recommend anything where you are utilizing your retirement funds to buy something. This is for someone that just wants to make a quick buck in the market, take advantage of the ups and swings, the ebbs and flows of the markets. But yeah, that's it, guys. And another thing I want to talk about is maybe you don't have the time to do all this, and that's totally fine. But let me tell you something that's a game changer. As a former stockbroker and a current trader and financial advisor, one of the best things I can tell clients about is the ability to never lose money inside of an insurance contract. And what does that mean is that we could actually make 100% of the QQQs, which is a NASDAQ. You got Apple in there, you got NVIDIA, Microsoft, Google, the Magnificent Seven. The QQQs, you're not investing in those, obviously, but what you want to do is you want to take advantage of the QQQs. And one way you can do that is through an insurance contract. And so I have access to insurance companies that will give you 100% of this index. This index yields over 16.8% over the past 45 years. You can look it up. Just look up the QQQs. And now we're officially able to guarantee your principal, only make the upsides. It's like going bowling with the bumper rails, and your kids may not throw a strike. They may knock a pin or two down, but they'll never strike out. They'll never throw a gutter. And that's what we can offer to our clients now. Now, this is great for retirement money. It's great for rollover money, 401k money. This is great for investment money. Maybe you received inheritance and you don't want to invest in the stock market, but you want to grow it like the market. Then this is what our clients are doing. They're simply putting it away. 100 grand, 19, 20 years from now is well over $4.5 million. Maybe you don't have 20 years. Maybe you only have 200 grand and you only have 10 years. Well, you're still looking at a close $1 million. Just setting it and forgetting it. Allowing the index to lock in those gains every single year, because we're making over 100% of the index with no risk and no fees with an A-rated investment carrier. So it's literally one of the best things that the banks are not offering right now, because they want you to be in red money. And if that's you, go to greenmoneysolutions.com. I highly recommend it. It's what I do personally for myself and for my clients and for my parents, is having the ability to grow your money and have an insurance contract that guarantees your principal. We have insurance on our money, our house, our cars, even our lives. But do you have it on your money? You are entering it in insurance contract law. This is not FDIC mumbo jumbo. This is not SIPC mumbo jumbo with securities law. This is not banking law. It's insurance contract law that will guarantee your principal. There's a reason why O.J. Simpson was making $50,000 a month after he killed his wife, got away with it, and still went to jail for stealing memorabilia. And the Joker was still clocking in dollars. Why? Because he had a green money account, an account that the government cannot stick their hands in and tell you what to do with it. Neither are the creditors. Neither the CBDC. That's what I'm saying. Like, this stuff is powerful. Really, really powerful. And if you want to grow your accounts, I have plenty of clients that are loving the interest that they're making and pulling the money out and not even touching their principal. Again, past performance is not indicative of future results, and everybody's timing is different with the index. But at least you have the knowledge here so that you can make a decision. All you got to do is give us a call, 813-448-3446. Oh, and one of the verses that I wanted to share, actually. I love this scripture, guys. Joshua 24:15. But if serving the Lord seems undesirable to you, then choose for yourselves this day whom you will serve, whether the gods of your ancestors served beyond the Euphrates or the gods of the Amorites. in whose land you are living. But as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. My dad always said that growing up with that scripture, is that for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. And he was referencing Joshua 24:15. Anyways, be blessed. God, country, and family all day, every day. America first and the cross first. We love you guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe our Rumble channel at Scriptures in Wall Street. And go ahead and cleanse the blood with fixthebloodusa.com. That stuff is amazing, guys. I love it. And I am so excited for all of our callers and our listeners. Like I said, if you want your retirement secured and you want a second opinion, give us a call, 813-448-3446, or visit at CortezWM.com, schedule your appointment. My kids are looking at me right now. They're like, Dad, are we going to go? We're going to go to Orlando. So I'm going to take them this weekend to our condos in Orlando. I'll be going live, sharing a bunch of pictures on Tuesday. Anyways, God bless you guys. I'm out of here. Have a good one.